Hello, everybody. We fully realize that President Trump said there would not be a CBDC for the United States moving forward. Hey, I would agree with that. But think about this for a second. Ripple XRP and Stellar XLM definitely do have ties outside the United States, to say the least. And of course, they do have ties to things like CBDCs, whether we're fans of that or not. But we are talking about XRP and XLM, the roadmap to a digital dollar. Now, hear me out. We understand how politics plays. And again, please don't take this the right way because this is not where we're going as far as divisiveness of politics. But I want to state this. Sometimes politicians or presidents, they can get elected and then they might shift because they learn about some key things. All I'm saying is this. When President Trump met with Stuart Alderati and Brad Garlinghouse and had the beef bourguignon dinner, well, there's a lot of things you better believe that was discussed about that. For one, is the whole idea of Ripple's on-demand liquidity. Now, of course, there's no evidence to say that they did talk about that, but I am not going to be oblivious to the notion that they didn't at least bring that up because at the end of the day, if President Trump is literally appointing people like Elon Musk for the Department of Governmental Efficiency, DOGE, to solve wasteful spending, well, he has obviously a big concern about the debt moving forward. Well, Ripple's on-demand liquidity is definitely a solver of potentially tokenizing debt. How many times have you seen not just us, but lots of other people cover this? So my point is, let that sink into your noggin. No offense, right? And let's just soak this all in about this concept of XRP and XLM, the roadmap to digital dollar, because I think as time goes by, it's not just him. There's going to be other people in his cabinet. And they're going to say, you know what? We don't want a CBDC, clearly, and stable coins and so on. But we want to recognize that blockchain distributed ledger technologies, especially with Ripple XRP and even Stellar XLM, could very well be the enablers to get us out of this get us out of this debt situation. But we need to tokenize that. We don't want the government to bail out those banks anymore, right? Because that's just one refill, if you will. And we don't want to be that refill with our taxpayer dollars. So can Ripple provide a solution for that? Or can even Stellar provide a solution for that? Because we know Stellar has USDC, right? So some people point out so much emphasis on RLUSD. I think Stellar definitely does need to be mentioned in that regard too. So in this citation, it is from Harvard University. And of course, our brother in space Smoke gets into it. So consider smashing that like. I know it's a long intro. This will be a quick video. Let's jump into it.
If managing your crypto feels like solving a puzzle, it's time to switch to Decent Wallet. So just a few taps, you can manage, track, and secure your crypto with unmatched ease. And here's the best part. Grab your Decent Wallet at a discounted price by using the referral link below. Don't miss out on making your crypto experience smoother and more secure.
So for one, it's Smoke. Always bringing the receipts, always providing the great research. He has this, and I think this is so good to get into. So for one, XRP plus XLM, the roadmap to the digital dollar. Okay, now he shared this, of course, on April 3rd, but again, not enough people really pound it home. And I did a little bit of this, but again, as we blow this up, you see here from the Office of the Vice Provost of Advancement in Learning, or Advances in Learning, process steps for the sender. And like you see here, ML controlled FX interface. As we blow it up even more, the ML driven FX interface converts fiat to XRP or XLM depending on instructions. Bottom part says sends crypto to the receiver. Immutability verification implemented through the XRP blockchain. Execution controlled by ML implemented smart contract. Right side says process for the receiver. Now even Swift, with all their orchestration, matches up with this. I've shown numerous deep dives about that. If you missed that, hey, I have a whole library of research on this channel in the video section. You can learn some things there. I have close to, I think I have over 1,500 videos, even if you combine it on the old channel. Don't go to that old channel, by the way. You're not really supporting me if you go to the old channel. I'm just throwing that out. But you can use it as a reference. Whatever the case be, receiver uses the private key given by the sender and receives funds in XRP or XLM tokens. The bottom part says the result is an automated process that creates immutable funds transfer chain that is devoid of mistakes and is not subject, of course, to human error. I mean, this is where I'm going with this, Jesse. I feel as though Smoke is totally onto something here, because at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind it's the source. Some people are questioning the source. So just one more tab, actually. I know we said we do one. Basically speaking, it's this whole thing from ResearchGate. And in the findings, we're going to pull this up, and possible roadmap for the United States digital dollar. Now, this was originally published in 2022, but whatever the case be, it's interesting to see all this. And actually, I'm going to put the ad blocker real quick right there. Hold on a second. There we go. So, yeah, Jayesh Mehta, Innovative Science, Engineering, and Management, was the original author. And we do see how this all comes together. Again, look at this. Dr. Jayesh Mehta also has, masters like myself. I can appreciate people like this. The road to the U.S. digital dollar, integrated cross-border payment solution. And again, you like the idea that you had Harvard study some of this. So Fed, they cite FedNow. We just recently did a video about FedNow. Possible first step by Feds to issue that. That didn't happen, obviously. But now, where do we go from here? And again, there are references about digital dollar evolution and why the digital dollar, basics of XLM, XRP. And again, this is all here. Anybody's welcome to look more into this. But again, why would Harvard specifically only pick XRP and XLM? I mean, doesn't that kind of bug some of you guys that they didn't necessarily mention some of the other key ones? I think they recognize them because they recognize that Stellar is definitely going to be your peer-to-peer. And of course, XRP is going to be your what? Your bank-to-bank. And provide an on-demand liquidity to give the United States a solution moving forward by tokenizing debt, as referenced from Larry Fink and so on. I don't even need to talk anymore about this. I think, if anything, you guys have an understanding of how this all comes together, and that's where it's at. I think this is literally the roadmap to the digital dollar. Maybe not necessarily being announced this summer after regulations, maybe not necessarily even after the mandates coming out for ISO 222 in November. But I think at some point, if you're Trump and his cabinet, you really have to reassess and regather those statements of no, it's no to CBDCs, but it's not no to stablecoins, and it's not no to digital dollars. Your thoughts, Jesse?
Yeah. Oh, it's good stuff, man. Smoke always bringing the alpha. My goodness, this guy. I need to send him a big present or something. I don't know what I'm going to send him. Nobel Prize, like I said. Yeah, no, definitely. Trump's fully aware of XRP, right? And especially Elon Musk. If you look at Elon Musk's website, which I think it was originally like it's x.com. When I had saw a guy did a really really good video on that. When you break down the back of the website, it used to be all stuff about the Interledger protocol and XRP many years ago. This is around the years where they built PayPal and everything. So yeah, the x.com website from Elon Musk was originally like, it was all about the XRP ledger and the Interledger protocol. So very interesting. And yeah, so and Trump has huge trust in Elon Musk, and it's all about what's the word I'm looking for here for Elon Musk? It's all about doing things like seamless and cutting, the waste and all that stuff. And XRP is the best thing for that. But like the document again was saying XLM and XRP. Why are we saying XLM and XRP? Why? Because those are the ones that are built on the Interledger protocol, and that Interledger protocol is so crucial, right? And so no, there's different ways they can do it with the XRP ledger. I think they can still do like a major stable coin or. And I'm one of those that thinks that, that $50 billion XRP that's in escrow, I believe some of that's for the central banks. So maybe that's because if XRP goes to the moon, maybe some of that XRP is to pay off some debts, global debt crisis, right? fix that global debt crisis to a certain degree. So no, it's Trump years ago talked about how one day we can all be on a level playing field. And he said it's coming, quickly as well. That was the first time he was elected, and he was, when he said the level playing field, which I know he was referring to XRP Ledger, he was talking about how he had met with the president of China, and he was not happy how they were devaluing their currency. So they were playing economic warfare technically by devaluing their currency. And he said we had a good talk with them, and soon we'll all be on a level playing field. Level playing field means that every country can do whatever they want. They don't have to hold US dollar, they don't have to hold the yen. You're not having all these trade imbalances because of US dollar being the only global reserve currency, is my understanding anyways, right? It's that whole Triffin's dilemma problem that XRP is solving. Triffin's dilemma goes way back to the Bretton Woods Agreement, where it said that if you have a sovereign currency serving as global reserve currency, it's going to create problems in the future. And the economist that warned about that was Triffin. His last name was Triffin. That's where we get the idea of the Triffin's dilemma. But no, I think Trump did talk about the level playing field. And like I said, for me, the level playing field is that you can use XRP as settlement, and every country in the world can do their own monetary policy. They're not affected by another country's monetary policy and how much money they print or whatever, because they're all doing whatever they want and they can just settle through XRP. So definitely there's some XRP in there for Trump, for the for the Federal Reserve or the Treasury, or in regards to that escrow. Ripple's not going to get away from doing something with Trump, like without getting politics. Trump doesn't play. So it's definitely they're gonna have to sit with the boss, and they're playing cards together. Like there's no other way. It's there's many ways you can do it. I think with the XRP ledger that'll be beneficial for the U.S. economy. There's so many ways to we don't know, right? There's a million NDAs, and so God knows better.
Yeah, I also look at, like, we didn't touch basis on this too much, but even with Stellar, I mean, if you think about like USDC, I mean, yeah, Circle, but we know of the Stellar connections obviously with Circle. I mean, heck, at one point it was even called Stellar USDC.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is, moving forward, Stellar also has to be part of that mix. I mean, if we're talking about, just like we did in the previous video about FedNow, well, that 24/7, 365, literally instant payments, I'm thinking like, okay, that is more of your peer-to-peer. The Stellar has to be part of that mix.
Oh yeah, I agree 100%, bro.
So
Yep.
I think obviously Harvard, they're not going to be too far off on it,
No.
and they did take their own particular deep dive. We'll have to see how this unwinds and where we go from it, but I think we're going to hear more about it. We may not necessarily hear more about it this year, but I think as we progress, especially after the mandates and especially after regulations, I think this topic will get addressed once again. Will be from Harvard, possibly, but more importantly, actually, it comes straight from the top. So, guys, gals, thanks you so much for tuning in. As the saying goes, you listen to the whole outline, simply type this into the comments, this key word or phrase, and that's the digital dollar, and we'll know that you listened to the entire outline. On behalf of myself and Jesse of Apex Crypto and Consulting, we do appreciate you tuning in. No we have, no way hold it. The research trumps FUD 110%. We'll see you on the next video.
You guys.